highest. So if um, like the class peak, I still consider the moderate. For special events, I also consider the moderate. Hence, being consistent, I just use the moderate level. So the best mode and best capacity came out to be double special mode A at 18 and 18. For off-peak, those events which are outside of class, outside of meals, and special events, well, there's no particular station pair which is can be considered relevant. All of them were simulated. And it was found that average total trip times per arrival of station pairs and operational costs were plotted. Average total trip times per arrival of all station pairs and operational costs were plotted, while the assumption was 1 week and 1 semester. For off-peak, since it can be considered as similar, under the subcategory of a class ridership. Hence, the mode chosen was double elevator. To summarize all of the loading events, off-peak special events, I took a snapshot, a portion of a day in the life of a Madel. Starting at, well, you can see time, the loading, mode of operation, capacity. Each time, each segment of time, there are different loadings happening. You cannot just categorize it as class peak. There are other events happening also. So I took that into consideration, and it so happens that for each for each segment of time, you have different loadings, but you can also assign different best mode of operation possible, and also the best seat capacity. However, for this off-peak, although it's 18 and 18, the common seat capacity chosen for all time remains to be 3618, owing to the fact that the relevant ridership is class peak times. So in conclusion, based on the video and the movement of the sleds, the best system design parameters chosen, number of sleds is 2. Optimal seat capacity is 36 and 18 for all types of loadings. And the best mode of operation corresponds to the type of loading during a particular time of day, where you have class peak is double elevator mode, and special events has double special mode A, and off-peak and mealtime are both double elevator. And I also explored the infrastructure modification. However, when I simulated it, the additional parking lot really doesn't provide much benefit, so it's considered unnecessary at this point in time. Future work, well, I can investigate feasibility of introducing additional stations around campus. I can also, future work can also be for decongestion of Web Cafe. After consultation with the housing services, he said that right now it's a problem of people are congesting Web Center, and parking space problems in OD. So that ends my presentation. If you have any questions.
The 36 passenger one is which side?
Then to Webster.
Okay. Why is that got more demand?
It has more demand because the type of passengers are well, the type of passengers are student commuters and student residents. When I studied where would these commuters likely park, it is in parking garage D at the TED station. We have no parking area in Powhatan. So it was after the study, there's no way of going back to TED. That's why there are more passengers coming from TED and going to.
When you show the picture, the 3D modeling, I forgot what kind of software you use. You don't use Flash?
I used Arena version 12. Arena, discrete event simulation software.
But do you have to program it pretty much by yourself or most?
It's a high-level language which you use modes that blocks of. I believe it's already programmed that in a way you just connect the modes provided by the software. So, but definitely you can use C in programming, but given the simulation software language, you don't have to go that deep. You can already use modes, which is provided already in the software.
So the learning curve you use that software is not very steep, I hope, right? It's not.
No, sir.
I don't think that's expensive.
The software, Arena was gracious enough to let Eric have a use of the program for a certain specified short period of time for nothing. But if you wanted to buy it and own it and keep it and have it, it's not inexpensive. It was more than we had. After that, it doesn't matter.
Eric, you said, I think you said for the velocity profiles, you decided to put a coasting time in. I wasn't sure what the logic of that was. You said, in other words, like you could, in some cases, probably accelerate till a peak value and then decelerate again without having any coasting. And why did you make that selection to put a coasting time in?
Well, sir, I did that because there are FDA recommended limits, and I'm sorry, I take it back, sir. I did that for safety considerations and for looking at the figures. You don't have to go all the way to the maximum just to get the maximum transit times. Even if you don't use the maximum values of velocity, you can still have reasonable transit times and yet do not sacrifice the passenger comfort. During the course of study, it is possible. You can use it definitely, but it can translate into higher operational cost, which you don't really need. And it's not, I'm just looking at the realistic side also.
So the main consideration was that you felt that passengers would be more comfortable to coast for a few seconds before they start decelerating again.
Yes, sir.
Your optimization strategy seems like a manual approach, or did you consider a more formal approach to come up with the best mode or some of those parameter settings?
Yes, sir. The nature of the work done, the optimization scheme, there are just so many variables, so many loadings, class peak, off peak, that you cannot just box it to a certain formal way, in my understanding. So I had to resort